right. So, over here on Twitter, this was shared by MK Sherlock, right? And he says, don't you guys find it odd that Ed warns us ahead of time that there won't be a Mortal Kombat announcement at EVO? I think he's never done it before, and now everyone's saying and posting it. What's going on here? Is it some kind of troll move? All right, we'll see. Hashtag Mortal Kombat 12. So, Ed Boon is a bit of a troll. Old school troll, right? And this is what he responded to. IGN said, the developers behind Street Fighter, MK, Tekken, and Guilty Gear are all expected to make announcements during EVO 2022, which is, I think, what, in a few days' time? Except Mortal Kombat, sorry, said Ed Boon. And then down the bottom, he says, it's time for Street Fighter and other great fighting games to be in the sun. Let's enjoy that. Right. So, what do I think about this? I don't know. Like, I did a video recently and saying, where is Mortal Kombat? Where the fuck is Mortal Kombat? It's the 30th anniversary year, and we haven't heard dick shit about it. You know, no sort of like, oh, we're gonna... Because this is where Capcom have just been nailing it, right? You know, they are... In recent years, they have bringing back older fighting games into collections. Some of them good, some of them not so good. But they're keeping fighting games from the Capcom side well entrenched in our psyche, right? Now, I find it odd that we don't have a single Mortal Kombat character, not only in a starting roster for multiverses, but not even announced down the track with even the leaks, right? I think that's really strange, considering that they've like, right? Considering that they have done that shit, right? The whole time, like Warner Brothers, you know, and whatnot, they've done these crossover things, and Injustice has MK characters and blah, blah, blah. And I know it's the same developer that's doing it, but like MK's sort of been kind of, not kind of, but at the front with the rest of their games, right? And characters that they have under their belt until recently. And if we go back to the beginning of the year, there was another tweet that came out about, you know, we can't show anything. He said something like, we can't show anything yet. You know, there's still things being worked out or something along those lines. I reckon, and this is like, I think I replied to this. It was this one. I think I said, you know, MK has been sold off. Either NetherRealm has gone out on their own, or they've been sold off. And I could be wrong. Like, I could be completely wrong. And for some fucking weird reason, Warner Brothers thought it was a great idea to say absolutely nothing up until, like, EVO to announce something for Mortal Kombat. It's the 30th fucking anniversary, right? Now, it's going to go one of two ways, and I hope it doesn't go the first way. The first way is that they will announce something. Actually, there's three things. One, they won't announce shit. Two, they'll announce it and go, yeah, our new game will be out in the following year. So you're not even going to release a Mortal Kombat title in, right, the fucking year that, you know, 30 years ago. Right? Or three, they'll announce it. And then they've been working on it this whole time, which is why they cut development time short and put it out. Now, they could have cut development time short, right, because of the merger. And there's a lot of talk of this merger stuff going on. They've been talking about this shit actually for years, right? And there's a very good chance that maybe this merger and, you know, Mortal Kombat and Injustice and whatnot don't fit the pedigree of whoever bought them out. I don't know who bought them out. Who bought them fucking out? Anyway, right? So there's a merger happen and whatnot, and so, you know, that's the thing, man. Like I sort of wonder, right? I wonder, you know, what's going on, because it's so weird. You know, Street Fighter brought out the Capcom Fighting Collection this year, which was primarily based, and I've reviewed it on this channel, primarily based with the most Darkstalkers games and whatnot, but there are some Street Fighter-esque games in there. Then they released the Capcom Arcade 2, which had a whole bunch of Street Fighter games in there as well, right? So they're really keeping like their fighting game franchises well at the forefront to let us know that shit's going on. And then, forgetting all of that, Street Fighter 6 got announced. Looks fucking incredible, right? You know, and that's the thing. Like, look, I hope there's a whole bunch of game announcements that are made at EVO. Let me just check when's EVO. EVO 2022. Oh, I see. So it's starting. So starting this Friday. So it'll be starting like Saturday my time, and then ending like Monday my time. That's pretty cool. All right, excellent. Yeah. So we may only be a few days away from finding out whether this is a troll, and it could be a troll, right? But like I said, I just find it really strange. In the 30th anniversary year, like there's been just fucking nothing for 8 months, or almost. Well, it's the 8th month, but seven solid and a bit months. Nothing. Not a peep, right? Just we're working on the next project, right? And those leaks that I did cover earlier back in the day, who knows if they're true? It would make sense if they were true, because it means that they could have taken what they've already created, added the additional characters that they missed from MK9 and MK10, and just put out just a fighting game, right? Like, I don't give a fuck about the story. The story's shit. Anyway, just to finalize this video, I made this dude mad, right? This dude called the Crypt, who seems alright, because there was talk in here about the one being says, I'm okay with them taking some time, and wasn't there a merger recently? They could really use some time to reinvent the story and deal with working conditions for their employees. Now, if you're an MK fan, you know that there was this stuff that came out that there were a number of employees apparently that were suffering from PTSD because they were looking into the intricate details of, you know, how to create the level of you know, disgusting fatalities that we have in MK11. And then the Crypt replies, conditions for employees. How is someone not having the resolve to work on violent video games relevant to that? Spoilers, it's not, right? And then I said, because this time they actually researched in intimate detail on dead bodies and ways to mutilate them. And they did, right? You can't tell me that these people just did this, you know, and no one at NetherRealm said to them, wow, how'd you come up with that? Are you telling me that they just said nothing? They just let them do it? Right? Give me a fucking break. And I said, at this point, MK is more gore porn than a decent game. The brutalities in MK11 are more of a traditional fatality than the John Woo 5-minute kill streak rubbish. And then he replies, he quotes it and then goes, it's the shittiest take I've ever seen. And I'm assuming he's going to be an MK11 fanboy. Listen, there are people that like MK11, and there are people who are real Mortal Kombat fans, right? You can fucking quote me on that. I've already bitched and complained into the ends of the earth about MK11. Right, I'm happy to do it all day though. It's a fucking pile of shit of a fighting game in the MK franchise, right? But that's the reality of it, right? Is that, you know, we got like the brutalities in MK11 and I guess MK10 are more akin to the speed and the ferocity and the holy shit shock value of the fatalities that we got in the yesteryear, right? And I don't want a fucking 5-minute, you know, montage of someone being cut up and their little eyeball being dragged along the ground. I don't give a fuck about that. And that's why I call it gore porn. It's getting stupid. We don't need that shit in MK, right? Scale it the fuck back, all right? You know, like I think you had it was perfect in MK9. I think it was at the perfect point with the X-rays, right? And the implementation of that. And then they just started adding all this extra shit in MK10 and especially MK11, right? And yeah, I'll stand by that you know, that statement that it is gore porn, right? It's more of a horror show now when you kill someone rather than being this just like this, you know, shock, oh my god, you know, and it's just this fatality that sort of sits. The only time I play MK11 is when I go online and I use Cabal. And I never do his fatalities. People don't do fatalities anymore, right? In MK Online matches, they barely do, right? What I try and do is this brutality where if it's the last hit to kill them, you do the ground saw, right? And if you hit them on the last, like if that's going to take the damage off them to kill them, right, it actually performs a brutality and cuts their legs out, I think from the knees down or something, or maybe like the mid-thigh. And that's shocking every time. That's really shocking. And that's how fatalities used to be. Now, it's just like, oh man, can you fucking just get over and done with? Like, I don't need to see these details, right? It's not that important, right? I don't mind that the camera's back a bit. You know, we don't need to have it fucking up here, you know, seeing shit. Anyway, that's just aside. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Okay, number 1 and 2 sword.